Hello everyone, from Kaze-Kai Karate, I'm Mr. Morrison. But I'm also from Lynn Welding, because for over 40 hours a week, I'm an aerospace TIG welder. And for the majority of that time, I'm sitting down. And if you have a job like that, where you're sitting down for the majority of the day, then this is a video for you. We're going to go over a couple stretches you can do throughout the day to help keep you loose and relaxed. Before we begin, I want to make something abundantly clear, that the stretches we're going to do are no substitute for a full warm-up session that lasts a minimum of 10 to 15 minutes. These are more just to help keep you from stiffening up throughout the day. First, let's talk about the lower back. Something we all tend to do is that we slouch. I do it all the time during class when I want to focus on someone. But I remind myself to pick up my shoulders, to pull in my core, to straighten out my back. By developing a strong core, it helps keep all of our guts tucked in, centering our body weight, and by doing so, relieves that back pressure. The next thing I want to go over is something we all do. Everyone nowadays has a cell phone, and more often than not, I always see people checking their phones like this. We forget that our head weighs up to 8 to 10 pounds. Probably 10 pounds for me. I have a pretty big head. So to help relieve that upper neck pain or upper back pain, tuck your elbows into your ribs and bring your phone up to you. The phone is much lighter than your head, and it'll help keep that posture straight. Alright? And for the next part of this video, we're going to go on a little field trip to Lynn Welding. Let's take a road trip. Before we get into the stretches, let's talk about proper seated posture. When you're sitting in a chair, adjust the height so that your knees are in line with your hips, and the back is set up in a way to allow your spine to have its natural arch. And of course, sitting with the shoulders back and head up straight. Now with that being said, let's go out into the shop. So the first stretch we're going to do, we're going to come to the edge of our seat. You're going to take one knee, point it down to the floor, while having the other knee stay up straight. From here, you can press towards the heel to help stretch out the calf a little bit, and then you can switch to pull and roll back on the toes to help stretch the front of the ankle. And go into a forward and back motion, while of course keeping your posture straight. Next, I want you to take your foot, bring it up on top of your knee, while keeping your back straight. Apply a light pressure towards your knee down towards the floor. And then from here, you can pull it up, bringing your knee towards the center of your chest. From standing, one more stretch for the hips. Balance on one leg, and while pivoting on your heel of the other foot, I want you to twist your toes outward. This will get you a rotating action in your hip. This next one, we're going to get the hips and spine involved together. Ball your fist up in front of your chest. While rotating your spine and lifting your legs, you're going to allow your elbow to touch the inner side of your knee. Throughout the day, what a lot of people do is just twisting themselves around, reaching around to the back of their chair, which is obviously a good stretch. Another stretch you can do is strictly towards the side. Take one arm and point it straight up to the ceiling
and hold it there. Keep pointing up, while the other hand is going to reach down towards the floor. This way you get your spine to arch in a sideways direction. Now to get our spine to move inward and outward. Again, ball your hands in front of your chest. Now, curl both shoulders forward towards the chest. And I want you to stick the center of your spine out behind you. Now, do the opposite. Pull both shoulders as far back as you can. And stick that center of your spine forward as far as you can.
There are plenty of times I hear people that work in offices where they have neck pain. And that's because of the height of their screen that they might be looking at. Whether it's too low, but in most cases it's actually too high. People assume that the center of the screen should be in line with their eyes, when really it should be the top of the screen. And here we have a perfect example. From a natural, good seated position, fully back into the chair, at this desk the screens are at the optimal height. They align right with my eye line, so that I can just glance right down at the screen, saving me from neck pain in the future. And that's what this is really all about. As we get older, we tend to focus on certain muscle groups more than we should on others. Because remember, this is about mobility, the range of motion a certain joint can make. Throughout our day, every day, from standing, sitting, and walking, especially in our hips, we're severely limiting the range of motion that our hips can move. And by lacking the motion in the other directions that our hips can make, we start to degrade those muscles. And as we get older, those muscles that we need to focus on start to give us pain. And that's what this video is about. Keeping those muscles in use, especially outside the workplace, so that they don't cause you pain as you get older.